Hello there. So we're gonna go ahead and do the last part of 5.2. Turn your books to page 413. So this is example 4. We're gonna go ahead and continue on and finish up this part. I'm sorry, this is the second part of it. I'm confusing my days. Here we have example 4. We have, we're in continuation of trig. So here we have to keep in mind, we have to put the calculator in radians form. That is very, very important. So again, this is for TI, you TI lovers. You have degrees right there. You click on it, degree, and here it says radians. So that line has to be right there underneath. Press equal, and therefore you have it in radians. If you put it in degrees form, you're gonna have completely different numbers. But for this lesson, it's actually very simple. Example 4 is all using your calculator. So understand you have a sine, cosine, tangent, those three numbers across. What you do not have is the cosecant, secant, and cotangent button in your calculator. If you do, you fancy, but I don't. Here, if you don't have it, but you have to find the actual number, they want you to write it down. They don't ask you to round, but I could hear Melanie and Jasmine asking us how many places do we round to? Do about 3. 3 should be good. So here, example 4. The sine of 2.2, all you're doing is just putting the sine of 2.2 equals sine, and you have all those numbers. I'm rounding to the 3 places. I have 0.808. You do the same thing with cosine. The last 2 examples are cotangent and cosecant. You can't put that in the calculator. So here, I have to convert it. So I know the cotangent is the reciprocal, it's the opposite function of tangent. So then you have 1 over the tangent of 28. So you do 1 over, so 1 divided by tangent of 28, wanting to look at it. So all in just 1 point, just put everything all together, equal sign, don't mind my nails. There you go, you got negative 3.553. Last one, cosecant, same thing. It's a reciprocal of sine. So 1 over sine, put it all together. It's about 1.204. Simple. Now the second part for example 5 is understanding even and odd. You don't have to memorize these because everything is in your chart. So it tells you what is positive, what is negative down here. So let's say we have, and these negative 2 just means like a negative degree. So negative 45, negative 300, etc., etc. Here, even, we only have 2 even. If it's a negative degree, the only 2 that come out a positive number is cosine and secant. Everything else is odd. So example 5. Here says a sine of negative radians over 6. We can't forget radians equals 180. So when I convert it, it's sine of negative 30. Negative 30, to find it here, remember it's 1 unit up, going up here, so that means it's 1 unit going down here, the opposite direction, or negative 30 plus 360, 330. So if you look at negative 30, so it's this coordinate right here, I have the TP, not the toilet paper. The terminal point is radical 3 over 2, comma 1/2, or negative 1/2. Here we're trying to find the sine of the negative 30. So the sine is always, if we look back up here, is always the y coordinate. So that means the sine is negative 1/2, and that's the answer. So here it's telling you even and odd. Even is even numbers, odd is negative numbers. So when you have a negative degree for sine, you're gonna end up with a negative answer, which is right, negative 1/2. Next one, let me move this over here. Cosine of negative radians over 4. Convert that, negative 45 degrees. The terminal point for negative 45, so negative 45 is here. So it's like 1 line going up, 2 lines going up actually. So that means it's 2 lines going downward, so that's 315. Or if you do the math, negative 45 plus 360, so you keep it within the circle, you get 315 degrees. So 315 degrees, the coordinate is right there where my finger is, and I have this right here. Cosine, if we remember, we go back to the sign right here. Cosine is the x coordinate. So that means the x coordinate of this is radical 2 over 2. If you notice, it's a positive number. That's why it's even. So if you have any other questions, make sure to let me know. Email me. I'll have my email down there on the bottom of the page. I love you all and miss you all. Have a good day.